Good morning, everyone. This is your host, Andrea Praber with Great Expectations Realty. And today we have a very special guest. We have my husband, David, who is going to be on here talking all things real estate with us this morning. David, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Okay, good morning. Well, I'm a realtor, which means that I help buyers and sellers with sales, and I also am a property manager, so helping investors manage their properties in a
Awesome.
nutshell.
In a nutshell. That doesn't even begin to describe your daily day, but yeah, in a nutshell, that's where we're at. Okay, so what we are going to be talking about is, of course, David and I were going over a whole bunch of stats, and we were looking at how much the interest rate changes for a 15-year and how much you can expect to save. Because in times past, it really didn't make that much of a difference whether you did a 30-year versus 15-year as far as the interest rate and the savings and stuff like that. But it's actually significant at this point. I mean, alarmingly significant, wouldn't you say?
Well, there's a greater difference with today's interest rates between a 15 and a 30-year.
Right. And that because of that difference and because of, not having 15 years of additional payments, let's go ahead and go over the numbers real quick, shall we? All right. Don't be scared. If I can math it, so can you. All right. Go ahead and get a piece of paper and pen, or even better, go ahead and jump on your computer with us because we're going to tell you where we got all of this information. You can follow right along. So we are going on to, first we're going on to MLS, which now you can't really follow along on there, but you probably noticed in some of the other more accessible websites for you, such as Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, stuff like that. You've looked at the prices for homes, and those have, of course, come down significantly lately, right? Those prices at this point, the median home sales price in Marion County is $257,000. So with that median sales price of $257,000, and let me just get on my soapbox for just a moment. All y'all sellers out there that think that it's still June, that time has passed. What's really showing is the list price hasn't changed at all for several months. Everybody keeps trying to list their home at $299,000, and then they end up selling it at what the market will bear, which is the $257,000. So if you are listing your house and you're trying to list it at $299,000, that is not going to happen. You have missed that boat. Welcome to the new reality. It is now much closer to $257,000. Now, of course, if you have a house that is much nicer or much bigger or has a pool or something like that, okay, that's a little different. We're talking about, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double car garage, cookie cutter home. The median sales price right now is $257,000. Okay, I'm done with that soapbox. I'm pretty, we're over that. Okay. So if you are going to purchase a home, that's about the sales price that you can expect. You might see that houses are significantly higher than that, but this is the time to ask for your deal. If you ask for a deal, you should also ask for a deal on the mortgage, and that involves getting a 15-year loan. What is the difference, you ask? Well, after doing some real quick math and checking my with my incredibly detail-oriented husband, you could save close to $400,000 on a $257,000 home. That's accurate, right? After going over the numbers?
Yeah, it seemed like the numbers bared it out. Maybe go through the detail.
Okay, in case you guys were curious, my husband is the detail-oriented of the couple. He is my polar opposite. I'm the more gregarious one, and he is definitely the more detail-oriented one. But I did check these numbers before coming on air with him, and I was appalled. I was absolutely shocked. Like, why doesn't everybody do this? So let's go over this real quick. If you are doing a home loan of $257,000, and I went on primelending.com to check this. Feel free to use their mortgage calculator. It's totally free, no pop-ups or anything like that. It's really easy to use. Go ahead and jump on primelending.com, and you can just pop in the information that you want, and it will go ahead and give you a basic estimated monthly payment. Neither David nor I are lenders. We highly recommend that you actually do sit down with a lender. But if you're just trying to get a rough estimate, a guess, and like check over the idea of how much you're going to pay and how much of a difference it is, this is an excellent tool for that. And again, it doesn't have a bunch of pop-ups and stuff, which I absolutely hate. So primelending.com and then mortgage calculator on there. All right, so if you are doing a 30-year, the national average for your interest rate is going to be about 7.55%, which makes it around $2,171. That's with your principal and interest. And with your principal and interest, your property taxes, your home insurance, your PMI, all of that. Total payment is going to be $2,171. Now we're going to take that same information where we're not doing a down payment, same thing, no down payment. The only difference is, of course, your interest rate is going to change to 6.23%, which is the national average for 15-year. And we also changed that it's a 15-year instead of a 30. Guess how much, just guess for a split second, guess how much your monthly payment is going to change. $395. That is, for some people, not even a car payment. It's $2,566 per month. Okay, now I know that is a little painful, $2,566, but if you look at what houses are renting for right now, I mean, what are houses renting for right now? You're actually out there showing houses and renting them out like crazy right now. So, I mean, what's the average?
Oh, I mean, in some of the nicer neighborhoods, it could be $2,000 to $2,500, the same amount that we're talking about for the mortgage payment. And now that assumes what? No down payment?
That assumes no down payment in that scenario, yeah. If you were to go and do a down payment of just 3.5%, which ends up being a little bit less than $9,000. So let's say you get your tax refund, or maybe you have a down payment assistance plan or something like that. Awesome. Maybe you ask for a seller concession, which obviously they're doing right now. So let's say you have 3.5%. That reduces your payment to $2,488.
On the 15-year.
On the 15-year, yeah. So what is the savings that we're talking here? For if you are doing no down payment, so that $2,566 versus the no down payment 30-year, you're going to be saving $382,140. Isn't that amazing? So this is significant. I mean, we should really encourage everyone to do a 15-year if it's possible to do a 15-year. What makes it not quite possible for some?
Well, maybe your gross income isn't high enough. The lender, of course, will kind of ask questions to see if you can qualify or not. But we did just a rough calculation, and the household gross income requirement went from $72,000 to $83,000. That's gross household income to qualify for that type of mortgage payment. So it may be doable for some people. It's certainly a question that you should ask the lender.
I highly, highly agree. Some of the questions, if you are going to go and talk to a local lender, which is what we recommend, this isn't just, typing something online. I know that's like a lot simpler and less scary, but it is actually a lot better to work with a local lender for so many, many reasons. I would be happy to explain anytime. But if you do talk to a local lender, please ask them about the difference between a 15-year and a 30-year. Ask them if you qualify for a 15-year. Ask them if you qualify for down payment assistance programs, because pretty much every local lender that I know or recommend have all of that information at their fingertips, right? I mean, pretty much anybody. In fact, Prime Lending, we have Debbie Cowan is over at Prime Lending. She's been our guest on the show before. She's fantastic, really very, very knowledgeable. She knows all about, the hometown heroes and all sorts of down payment assistance programs and stuff like that. So she would be able to help you out with within just a few minutes and figure out if she can help you save $382,140. That is a lot. That's almost way over $100,000 more than the price that you paid for the house. But you actually brought up an interesting point before that not everybody is staying in the house for 15 years. We've definitely seen that before. The average right now is what, 2 years, 5 years, something like that?
Yeah, the average has gone down, but even so, you're saving money with a 15-year because you're paying down the principal faster.
Right. There's other things that you can do to pay down that principal without being locked into a 15-year. Now, I'm not as much of a fan of those because what people will do will be like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and pay as if it's a 15-year, but I'm going to go ahead and sign up for a 30-year mortgage. Guess what they end up having? A 30-year, 30-year mortgage. The intention is there, but if the bill doesn't show up, it doesn't get paid like that. Something else a lot of people propose to do is to make that 13th payment. So, they do, 26 payments or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, it's another one.
Yeah.
All of those require a disciplined approach, which is not the majority of us.
Right. So what did you've done in the past, 30-year or 15-year?
I think at the very beginning, my first house actually was an assumable VA loan, which was a 30-year, but back then, believe it or not, the interest rates were, I think, 11.5%.
Ouch.
Yeah, back in the 80s. And then ever since, that kind of prompts you to look at, where you're going to save the most money. So yeah, 15 years is the way to go if you can.
Right. And that is something that we're starting to see again is sellers asking if their loan is assumable and what requirements the bank needs. Not all loans are assumable, but that is definitely something buyers should be asking for as well. Because if there's an assumable loan at a much, much lower interest rate, wouldn't you want to be able to do that? I mean, I know I would. So
again, a question to ask.
Definitely a question to ask. So those are some questions we want you to look into. It's not just so cut and dry as, well, here's the price of the house and here is what you are going to pay for it. And of course, everybody's doing a 30. Look outside the box. As far as I'm concerned, there is no box. I mean, color outside the lines, y'all. But yeah, those are some of the things that we recommend that you ask. Definitely ask questions. All right, we are going to go stop for a break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the stats here specifically in Marion County, what's sold, what's pending, etc. We'll be right back after this. Sorry. I'm going to have to edit the video too.
Mm-hmm. You are going to put the community events first, right?
No, I always do the stats first.
Okay, well.
Why?
This is boring.
Thank you, honey. All right,
well, I mean, people that want to watch what's happening, I think would be.
This is a real estate show.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay.
So you're going to do the community events at the end?
Mm-hmm. Makes everybody stay for the whole show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Except I already forgot what we were going to talk about.
Okay. All right, let me do the stats real quick.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. This is Andrea Piper with Great Expectations Realty, and this is my husband, also with David Piper, also with Great Expectations Realty. We were kind of joking a little over the break, but we are going to be talking about the stats here in Ocala, and I promise not to put you to sleep. I will be very quick because there's a lot of community events coming up, and we definitely want to go over all of those next. All right, so here in Marion County, for this week, the last 7 days, it's of course been an incredibly slow 7 days in real estate. Have you seen that too, right? Like all the realtors are just like missing.
Not everybody.
You've definitely been working.
You
That's
could
for
talk
sure.
to Lottie, and she'd tell you that she had 3 deals
She
just
did.
last couple days. So
Yes. I've listed a few houses myself.
yeah. So actually, some agents and realtors are actually busy right now.
There are a few of us out there that are running the roads. I was putting up signs today, and you were putting in flyers, and you had a committee meeting, all sorts of stuff. We've been doing all sorts of stuff, but it's, for the most part, kind of slow out there for some people. Not everyone wanted to go and move this week. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Of course, we have talked about the median sales price of $257,000. That is what they are selling for, if not listed for. Active listings, 119. That's pretty low. That's definitely pretty low. Price increase, we had 10 price increases. Pretty low. Price decreases, 119. Okay, now that seems high, but when you consider that for months now, every single week I've been in the 300s, that's actually really low. So nobody was really decreasing their prices, or not as many people. Oddly enough, it is the exact same number of the houses that went on the market. So we had 119 active listings hit the market, and we had 119 price decreases. Again, they are listing their houses too high, hoping that it's still June. No. Back on the market, we had 44. Sold, we had 154. There were a lot of closings. Everyone's trying to close things out before the end of the year. So we did have a lot of closings and stuff go through. Pending, and we were here at Great Expectations, part of this number for sure this week, we had 134 pending listings this last 7 days here in Marion County. 24 cancellations. 24 different houses came off the market, and the seller said, it's just not what the number I wanted, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with no right now. Expired listings, we had 17. I'm expecting that number to be very high next week, don't you think? With it being the end of the year and the end of the month and all of that, I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of expired listings, don't you think?
I would expect so.
Yeah. Temporarily off the market, we've got 14. Obviously, because they had some holiday celebrating going on. Withdrawn, we had 6. And of course, that national average interest rate for a 30-year fixed is at 7.559. But I want to definitely start bringing up that 15-year is at 6.23. I think that is definitely something we are going to mention on the show every single week, because I think that is a really great idea. If you can save hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a fairly short amount of time, I'd say that's a good idea to do if you can. All right, we are going to take one more real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about David's favorite things, all the stuff that's coming up in Ocala this weekend. Be right back. And we do this. And we do this. Okay, ready?
I think I lost it.
Oh.
Hide the map. Okay.
All right. I'm going to talk about the homebuyer workshop, and then it's going to go to you.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. Welcome back. This is Andrew Praber with Great Expectations Realty, and my husband, David Praber.
Good morning again.
We're going to be telling you about all the fun stuff that you get to do right here in Ocala. There are so many things. It was hard to choose just a few. The first thing I want to mention is, of course, the event that we're hosting on January 14th. So obviously not today or tomorrow, but January 14th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. we are hosting a free homebuyer workshop. And this is going to be at our office in Ocala. So if you stop on over at 3201 Southwest 34th Avenue, Suite 102, you can come in anytime between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. and find out questions like how much cash do I need, or what about my credit, or how do I get a grant for closing costs, or how exactly do you buy a home, or should I just rent? All of these questions and more will be answered at our free home buyer workshop. We used to do these every month, remember, before the time of great sadness that I would call COVID. We did those every month, and we're going to get back to that in 2023 because I think there's a lot of people that really need that information. So,
And
all right.
will we, I'm sorry to interrupt, are we gonna have a lender there or somebody that can help?
Absolutely. We're going to have a lender there so that some of those detailed questions, maybe, or if you want to have a personal question asked, you can go ahead and sit with a lender privately and you can ask and you can find out maybe how much you qualify for, or if you just want to have more information about what you actually need to qualify or what your next steps are. And I can absolutely guarantee that even if there is no way you can buy a home right now, we're still going to help you. It's a path to home ownership. And sometimes that path is a short path and sometimes it's a long, windy road. But we really do feel that everyone deserves the ability to own their own home. So we're going to help you with that.
Is that a Saturday, by the way?
It is a Saturday.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Okay, sorry, it was coming up on some nonsense. Okay. All right, so what is the event that you were looking at?
Oh, you mean for New Year's?
Yes.
Oh, well, there's several activities taking place, but the one that stood out was family friendly. So it's New Year's Eve night from 5 p.m. until midnight.
So tonight.
Mm-hmm. And it's family friendly. It's at the downtown square is most of the activities, and it's $15. There's 15 venues, activities actually, shows and entertainers in Midtown and downtown Ocala. So if you know where the downtown square is, or Tuscaloosa Park, that's the other part of the activities. Bring your family down there. There's going to be entertainment with magic shows, comedy shows, bounce houses, a lot of things for the kids.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm sure you can find something to do. And the $15 basically is the all access ticket. Kids under 5 are actually free with the purchase of an adult ticket. So if you Google, New Year's Eve events in Ocala, there are more, but this one kind of stood out. And you can find it online at ocalamainstreet.org /first night.
That was definitely the one that stood out the most, especially the family friendly thing. It's kind of hard to find stuff that, your kids can go and do and enjoy. But there's actually a lot of stuff going on. I think almost every restaurant, pub, bar, and even the Marriott, all of them are in some way participating this evening in the festivities. Some of them going to like 5 a.m. Did you see that? There were some of them 5 a.m. So
Yeah, I'm thinking that's adults only.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that's adults only. Some of them are family friendly, like the event that David was talking about. Others are more adults only. Obviously, if it's in a pub or something like that, like O'Malley's Alley or something like that, that's going to be more of an adult friendly environment. But there is plenty of things to do for everyone downtown square this evening. So stop on out. I think the earliest I saw was 5 o'clock?
Right, 5 o'clock. And I'll mention a few of the venues: Jenkins Amphitheater, the Discovery Center.
Oh, wow.
Magnolia Art Exchange, Tuscaloosa Park, the Downtown Square, the Citizen Circle, the Marion Theater, Brick City Center for the Arts, and the IHMC. Are all venues, and there's, like I mentioned, comedians, magic shows, ventriloquists, art galleries, kids zone, food trucks.
Well, you gotta have the food trucks.
Yeah, live band at the downtown square. There'll be a midnight countdown. Again, just different groups. There's one Phoebe Samba team, footprints and motion, stilt walkers, caricatures. Sorry, didn't pronounce that too good.
I was enjoying it.
Yeah. So you'll see a lot of things for the kids there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really, really fun event. A lot of different things for a lot of different people down there. But like I said, there's stuff going on at the Lodge, O'Balley's Alley. I mean, pretty much everything downtown. So if you are trying to get from one place to another place and you try to go through downtown, I would highly recommend an alternate route because it's going to be a lot of people. And it sounds like they're going to be at the square and also Tuscaloosa. So there might be, some foot traffic going between those two on 40. So you might want to be careful of pedestrians if you are driving through there. I think that's pretty fair to say, right? So, all right. Well, that I think, actually there was one other event that I thought was pretty cool. That's over at the Equise Inn. I want to make sure I say that right, but the Equise Inn, it's at 3434 Southwest College Road, and that's the Decades Party is going on tonight. And if you want to RSVP for that, it's 352-854-3200. Again, it's 352-854-3200. They have the coolest outside area there, and they've got kegs and all sorts of stuff inside and a wine bar and all of that. That's really neat. But that outside area with the fire pit and everything, it's just so cool and so comfortable. So if you are looking for something a little less crowded, hopefully that Decades Party over there will be more your cup of tea. But either way, I mean, pick the event. There's plenty of stuff for you to do today in Ocala. So have fun. Absolutely have fun. Stay safe. And if you are going to be enjoying some of the adult beverages, please make sure that you have a designated driver or that you are going to be using an Uber or taxi service tonight. Okay? Be safe.
Yep. Have a happy 2023.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great one, and thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
That's okay. Mm-hmm.
That's within the time frame?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, we got within a few minutes.
Okay. Well, you may want to say a few more things then.
I think that was a pretty perfect show, so I don't want to.
Mm.
Whew.